Hello everybody and welcome to my January wrap up and February TBR. As you might see, I'm late and that has a reason. I'm sick since last Sunday and I couldn't film. So as you might hear, my voice is really weirdish and that's because I'm still sick, but I thought let's just get into it and film as long as my voice is still here. So let's just start. This month, or more, January, I've read 15 books in total, which made 4,971 pages in total, and that is so awesome, especially because I had holidays, but I was in Ireland visiting Gabby, and there I didn't really have time to read, so a good month. And let's just start with the books. So the first book that I've read is Wait For You by Jennifer Armentrout, aka Jillian. One of the things I want to do this year is reread more of my favorite books because they're so awesome and I just hated that I only read them once and then never again. So I decided to start rereading more. And this was my first choice of rereading and I loved it just as much as the first time. And again, I got into a reading slump after it. Thank you. So, 5 out of 5 stars. The second book is also a reread, and that is Opal by Jennifer Armentrout, and that is the third book in the Lux series. And if you haven't started the Lux series, what are you waiting for? It's one of my favorite series ever, and I have a book talk for Obsidian, the first book in the series, and I'm going to link it down below. And also, I loved it. It's Jennifer Armentrout, 5 out of 5 stars. So then I've read The Dove by Cody Keplinger, and I wanted to read this book like forever, but I never really got to it. And now that the movie is coming out, I was like, just go ahead and read this book. And I really liked it, though sometimes it was a little bit frustrating. So it got 4 out of 5 stars. Then I went on and read Diamonds in the Rough by Michelle Meadow, and this is the second book in the Secret Diamond Sister trilogy, and I absolutely loved it. I liked it even more than the first book, that I think, and yes, I really liked it. And I can't wait for the third book, but it's going to take so long till it comes out. See, I can't speak. So I really loved it and I read it really fast, and it's kind of thick. And it was kind of surprising how fast I read this. So of course 5 out of 5 stars. Then I went on with my new addiction called New Adult and read One Tiny Lie by K.A. Tucker, and this is the second book in the 10 Tiny Breaths series, which is more like a companion novel, but still it's about the main character's sister from 10 Tiny Breaths. And this book was just so awesome. I had to laugh so much. I've never laughed so much in my life while reading a book, and I highly recommend this series, and so of course I got 5 out of 5 stars. And then, you won't believe it, I've read my January TBR book, and that was Glitch by Heather Anastasiou. And I was surprised. I loved it. I really loved it. So I now want to read the second book, and it was really surprising because it's kind of dystopian and I'm not in a dystopian mood anymore. I'm so sick of dystopian novels. But this was really good, so it got 3.5 stars. Went on with an ebook, and that was Hold on Tight by Abby Glines. I still don't know how to speak her name. And this is the 8th book in the Sea Priest series, gosh. And as always, I liked it, but it wasn't as perfect as the first one, so it got 4 out of 5 stars. And then I've read another ebook, and that is Never Never by Colleen Hoover and Taryn Fisher. I hope I get her name right this time. So it was supposed to be one big book, but then they decided to split it off in 2 books. So the first book was only 140 pages and it had a cliffhanger. And oh my gosh, this cliffhanger. I want to read the second book, but no, it's till May, I I think, till the second part comes out, and I love this book and I want to know how it goes on, and it isn't the typical Colleen Hoover style, it's more like a thriller kind of thingy, and I really loved it and got 5 out of 5 stars. Then I finally read the selection stories The Prince and the Guard by Kiara Cass, and this is another part of my New Year's resolutions. I want to finally get down to all my old TBR books, and I'm starting with this one. And I'm so torn because I loved The Prince. I really loved it. I loved to see all the stuff from Maxon's POV. And I hated The Guard. I didn't finish the story. And I hated it. Oh, how I hate Aspen. How I hate it. But yeah, and the extra stuff was kind of cool, so I gave it three out of 5 stars, because if it would have been just The Prince, it would have been 5 stars, but The God sucked, so 3 stars. Then I went on with another ebook, and that was Until the End, the 9th and final book in the Seabury series, and that book I loved so much. And we got epilogues for all of the characters from the other 8 books, and I just loved that Abby Glines did that. So that one got 5 out of 5 stars. So we went on with my new addiction, and I've read Losing It by Cara Carmack, and that was my first book by her, and I hate myself for not picking this up earlier because it was perfection. I just loved it so much, and it was so sad that it's so short, and yeah, I loved it. It's like one of my favorite books, and I think Cara Carmack is really one of my new favorite authors, so 5 out of 5 stars. And then I've read 4 Seconds to Lose by Ki Taka, the 3rd book in the 10 TBR series, and only one more book is out, and that is also the last book. And I'm so sad because I just love Ki Taka's writing, and this was just awesome, just like the others, but it's my least favorite so far. But doesn't matter because it's still awesome, so of course 5 out of 5 stars. Then I went on with rereading, and I chose Be With Me by J. Lynn, Jennifer Lamontrode, however you want to call it, and still same opinion as reading the first time. It was awesome, but Cam and Avery will always be my favorite characters ever. But still awesome, so 5 out of 5 stars. So the next book that I've read is Inspired by Cara Carmack, and this is new adult, but paranormal fantasy new adult. And there are not much books out there like this, and I just love it because it's paranormal, which I love, and new adult, which I even love more. So it's perfection, just like Wicked by Jennifer Lamontrode, which is over here behind me. And yes, it was so awesome. It's like one of my new favorite books, and also Cara Carmack, like I said, one of my new favorite authors. So of course it got 5 out of 5 stars, and I think I will do a review of this. So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to link it down below. And then we're coming to the last book that I've kind of read in January, and that is The Diviners by Libba Bray. And that is also one of my TBR books that I have forever, so I decided to read it, but yeah, not my book. I'm not done with it. I stopped at page 460, but I'm still counting because I've read 460 pages of it, and it was so boring. I was so bored out of my mind, and I really had problems with the language because it's in the 1920s, so the language is really different, and since I'm not native English speaking, it's always kind of hard for me to read English. But this language, I just couldn't deal with it, and also there wasn't really happening anything, it was just blah blah blah. So I don't know if I will ever finish it, But I read it on Goodreads today because I don't know when I will finish it. And it got 2 out of 5 stars, and this is not my book. So, like I said, a few books that I've read this month. It's so hard to do this while standing. Yeah, oh my gosh. That was a lot of reading. And there I'm missing the ebooks. It's already February, so I started already reading books, and so I kind of have a TBR this month, and that is first Faking It by Cara Kamek, the 3rd book in the Losing It series, which is also a companion novel. And yeah, I want to read more of my TBR books, but I'm not sure yet which one I will pick, and then I'm going to pick one of my TBR jar. Because that's what I am doing. And this time I'm going to read it. I promise. I hope so. I promise. So, what is it? Forgive my offense. Oh, yeah. Slight problem. I already read that one this month. So, hey, my TBR book is done. No, just kidding. Let's get another one out here. Because, as I said in another wrap-up video, I am not going to pick the ones that I've read out of here. Because there's way too much work. And you all know, I'm lazy as fuck. There was another one. Incarnate by Jody Meadows. And I have the whole trilogy, and I kind of want to read it, so yep, I'm going to read it this month. I hope so. And before I start talking other weird stuff, because I'm on antibiotics, I'm going to end this video. So, thank you all for watching. If you see me for the first time, I'm not always this crazy and weird, so it's antibiotics. Yeah, so I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!